When there are other changes that are not, you don't get to rebaseline, you don't get to update your commitments, but for approved scope changes, you do. All right. So scope creep is never good. Scope creep is doing more work than is documented or scheduled. And the way to avoid scope creep is to have a good change management process. Right? That's exactly right, T-Bone. Once they approve that change, they're also along with it seeing the increase in budget and the increase in schedule, and they're signing off saying it's okay. So now we go from unbillable scope creep to billable work. I never want to tell a customer, no, you want to pay me more money, I don't want your more money. I don't think I've ever said that, but I want to make sure you understand the repercussions of the changes that you make. Okay? So scope creep, bad. Change management, good. Okay. All right. Now, when we have scope creep, again, we usually come in over budget, behind schedule. So we said change management's really important. But also, one of the reasons we tend to have scope creep on projects is that we fail to collect project requirements properly. I really think everybody that's going to be have part in project management should go through a week-long class on how to collect good requirements, because it's almost always the fact that requirements are the cause for project failure. I have the improper requirements, you change your requirements so frequently, misunderstood requirements, or I followed requirements but it wasn't exactly what the customer wanted. Requirements are difficult. So we have to find a way to make sure as we're collecting requirements that we're not just following what the customer says, but that we're understanding what the customer wants. And there's a really big difference in some instances between what the customer says and what the customer wants. And the bottom line is the customer wants to be satisfied. So if you're providing exactly what they asked for, but it doesn't meet their requirements, then that's no good. So another way we avoid scope changes, and this isn't so much in the PMBOK, but this is more real world. When you're collecting requirements, you want to ensure that you isolate problem space from solution space. You want to separate project space from solution space. Okay, problem space comes from the customer. The customer tells us the problem they need fixed, but the customer should not be telling us how to fix it. We listen to the customer's problem, and we determine how to fix it in a manner that will meet their needs, because ultimately the customer doesn't just want a product, they want a problem that's fixed. So for instance, my son is in daycare, was in a preschool for a while, and when I went to pick him up one day, I made the mistake of telling the administrator there what I do for a living. And, you know, I made a vow a long time ago, if somebody asks me what I do for a living, I'll just tell them that I wait tables. Because once you start becoming the person that's in IT, it's amazing the number of phone calls and emails and, hey, can I ask you a quick question? No, you can't. It's 9:30 at night. I'm watching a movie with my kids. I don't want to have to tell you to reboot your computer, right? If any of you are in IT, we've all been in that situation. But I made the mistake and I said, yeah, I work in IT. And she said, oh, let me ask you a quick question. So I knew I was in trouble. And she said, we're considering moving all our resources to the cloud. Do you have any suggestions for that? Well, first of all, you're considering moving all your resources to the cloud. Do I have any suggestions? It's not like I'm going to just say, hey, think about it first. There are a million suggestions I have if you're considering cloud migration, right? That's a very broad topic people don't always understand. But the idea is, she said she wants to move resources to the cloud. If I was presenting myself as a consultant and I take that, she wants to move to the cloud, and I migrate all her resources to the cloud, then it may not really be what she wants. For those of us that have been around for a while, the cloud is not the be-all and end-all solution that a lot of people think that it is. It certainly has its value, absolutely, but that doesn't mean it's the ultimate end result for every organization. So what she did is she came to me with a solution. I want to move everything to the cloud. What my job as a project manager should be is to come back to her and say, why? I don't want her to give me the solution because she's not an IT professional, and she may choose a solution that she thinks is a result just because of, it's something that she's heard about or a poorly considered decision, whatever that may be. So what I have to do is I have to come back and say, why? What is the problem you're trying to solve? What is your purpose in moving to the cloud? Well, her purpose in moving to the cloud was that she needed to increase the security of of student information to be in compliance with specific regulations. Now, when we talk about the cloud's just the internet, right? It's just somebody else's computer that's being accessed across the internet. And if you tell me your top goal is security, I don't immediately think, oh, let's take everything you have and put it on the internet, right? There are a million different variables. So if I had taken all her resources and moved them to the cloud, and she has a compromise as a result of being on the cloud, well, I haven't satisfied her needs, right? Or if she wanted to save money, for those of you that work with the cloud, you know that cloud services may save you money up front, but may not save you money over a period of time. So if her goal is to provide protection and access to her resources cheaper, the cloud may not meet her needs. And if I move her to the cloud and she winds up spending more money per month than she'd spent in the past, I haven't solved her problem. I haven't provided what she needs. So the idea is the project manager has to be able to sift through what the customer is saying and figure out what they need. Tell me your problem. You want to be in compliance with HIPAA? You want to upgrade your infrastructure? You want to do this? You want to do that? Ultimately, what my job is to get at the why. I'll tell you the what and the how. So she wants high availability. Okay, well, if high availability is her only goal or her primary goal, then the cloud sounds like a good choice, right? It's, she has that ubiquitous access and so on and so forth. So ultimately, as a project manager, I saw Donnie had mentioned asking open-ended questions and trying to sift through what the customer's saying versus what they really need. Because when it comes to pass, the customer wants what they want. They don't necessarily want what they said they wanted. Okay, so requirements come from problem space. The solution comes from me, and that's what the project management's all about.